Two Prizm Football, 3 Happy Box, pick your team, number 8. All cards ship. Last 3 boxes from the case. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. I might not have enough time to add a baseball in because now that I'm thinking about it, it's 12. By the time I'm done with this, it'll be about 12:30. Bowman's Best is a 30-minute. Bohm Chrome U is it? Yeah, I shouldn't do that. All right, we'll come up with a plan here for Bowman's Best. I'd rather not do a serial filler with J-Rod being redemptions. We certainly can, but I prefer not to. All right, we'll think about it once we're done here. I have to just open them up. It would be, yeah, it would probably be one of those scenarios where I would set it up for breaks on a Tuesday night. Like, I'll start watching it, and if I know I'm going to get it that week, like whenever I get it, so it might be up. I don't even know. They probably didn't ship it or anything yet. I mean, it's definitely way too early. I highly, highly doubt I'd get it for next week's breaks. It probably comes in late next week, and then I'll save it for the following week. Yeah, I mean, I just won that auction 2 days ago. So yeah, probably not next week, but the following week I think I'd have it. And then, like I said, I'd probably need to set it up for during the Tuesday night drop. So be on the lookout whenever I drop stuff on Tuesday. But I'll definitely send out an email whenever that stuff gets posted, just so everybody knows what's up, because it is, yeah. Yep, probably be a one and done too on the case. Well, I guess I say that, but I guess we'll see what happens. Wyatt, green scope, number to 75. The problem is if we get it and then it's nice and we break and want to break more, then I have to order it, wait even long. So it's one of those sort of deals. Brandon Ayuk, 99 out of 99 for the 9 spot. Blue Ice, San Fran. All right, fellas, what are we thinking here? We need to get a gold vinyl, eh? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking gold vinyl in here. I'm thinking gold vinyl. Number to 149, Trey McBride, Red Wave, Cardinals. I'm thinking there's got to be a gold vinyl. I'm thinking Leroy Kelly for the Browns, orange, 249. There's got to be a gold vinyl. Gots to be, my friends. Chris Olave, 149, Saints. Got to be silver, green scope, Duvernay to 75, Ravens. Tyreek Hill, Dolphins, 249. Freiermuth, Steelers, 2 out of 225, 2 spot. Shaq Barrett, Prizm autograph for the Bucks. TJ Hawkinson, Vikings, 275, 175, excuse me. Purple, Lane Johnson, Eagles to 125, purple Prizm. Another purple Prizm, we got Kyler Gordon to 125 for the Bears. Denzel Ward to 199, Blue Wave. Willis, not a whole lot there in that box. Not a whole lot right there. Certainly not a gold vinyl. Where art thou? Yeah, I knew that coffee was going to get to me at some point. Drinking some iced coffee to get me going. Give me a little caffeine boost right before the stream. All right, first box. It was a dud. That was a dud. Oh, if anybody out there playing Call of Duty or possibly may want to try out Call of Duty, you guys were talking about some old school games, but some new school games. There's some of the playlists are free to play for this weekend, or I don't know how long it is, probably just this weekend, but so normally, Warzone is free to play if you guys like those sort of games, first-person shooter games. Warzone's free to play, but if you want to play regular Call of Duty multiplayer, you have to actually buy the game. But this weekend, and I would imagine it's probably periodically they will do this, but there's some playlists that are free to play this weekend. Which is pretty cool. I mean, I already have the game, so it doesn't really... But I do think it's kind of cool that they're doing that. Some free-to-play stuff. It would definitely entice me to buy the game. I mean, you do the free-to-play for the weekend, and you're like, man, I really like this. I mean, it definitely will get you. RPA, honestly, I don't know. I don't remember much from those 3 boxes last night. Bills 225. You don't remember anything. Yeah. Some stuff I do remember. Some stuff it's weird how my brain works. Like I could remember certain hits that people have pulled in here from years ago. I could remember, different aspects like that of just things that have just happened, that don't have any effect on anything. But yeah, the things that happened yesterday, I can't remember. Johnson for the Bears to 225. Yeah, I'm bad. My wife always calls me out on it. I'm only human. Oh, green scope to 75, Seabirds. Mike Williams, 199 Chargers. So much Trey McBride, purple to 125 Cardinals. Pierre Strong Jr., silver Patriots. Juju, purple ice, 225 for the Chiefs. Touch. Marshall Faulk to 199 for the Rams, blue wave. Number 299, John Randall, blue ice autograph for the Vikings. Peyton Manning, orange wave to 60 for the Colts. David Carr for the Texans to 249. Red Wave Parsons, Cowboys, 149. Show us the goods, man. Where's the gold vinyl? I thought we were promised a gold vinyl here. Brisker, Bears, 249 orange. Pickett for the 1. Lave, Michael Pittman Jr., purple to 125 for the Colts. I was just thinking about this because keep saying Hutch for Aiden Hutchinson. There's this guy I worked at in college. After I was working at McDonald's, right? Manager, night shift manager, doing whatever hell I wanted. Not really, but and then one of the managers there, he was another younger guy that was going to school. Ended up getting a job at this call center at the local it's a regional bank in PA that's headquartered in Indiana, PA, where we were going to school. So it was perfect. But and then I ended up working as an auditor at the bank that's right next door. It's like the number one competitor of that bank, so they didn't like that whenever I went there as an intern. And yeah, but I was working at this call center. He got me a job there. There's this guy there, and his nickname was Hutch. Real weird guy. And he rode the bus to get to work, which is not typical around. I mean, they have the bus up here and everything, but it's not. This isn't New York, you know. It's just like, but either way, he didn't have a car. It's all good. He just rode the bus. But we'd get on calls sometimes, and you couldn't get off the call with the person. Like, this is like people are calling in and wanting to know information about loans and their bank account and what are the last fucking 50 transactions I had on my account and all this stuff. So, and there was a couple times where it was like closing time and I couldn't get this guy off the phone. I remember one time it was like a Sunday. We were supposed to be done at like 6 or something, and I was there until like 6:45. I couldn't get this guy off the phone. He wouldn't. I was like, wanted to cry. But either way, this Hutch guy, he couldn't get this guy off the phone, and he had to, like, the bus comes at, you know, that certain time every day or whatever, and he never had that much time. He had maybe like 15 minutes after work to get over to the bus stop, whatever, and couldn't get off the phone with this person. And he's like getting to the point where he's going to be screwed, and he's going to have to walk home a couple miles or whatever it was. And it was just so funny and so awkward the way he went about telling this person that he was like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I have a bus to catch, and like, it's not that important to me what's going on." Like, it was wild. It's pretty funny. Call center. Anybody in here ever work at a call center? It's a terrible job. Customer service call center is absolutely horrendous. I never wish that upon anyone. But yeah, he was like, I gotta get off the phone, man. It's like, I'm not worried about what's going on with you can't balance your checkbook for $6 or whatever. He's like, I have to get off the phone, man. He's like, we've been on the phone trying to balance your checkbook for like an hour and a half. Yeah. And then this one guy, so it was in college, so I worked nights and weekends, and because it was a bank, I got like an extra 20% on my pay anytime I worked nights or weekends, and I only worked nights and weekends. So it was like so great. And then because I was part-time, it was like I didn't work half the amount of hours that a 40-hour-a-week person worked. I worked like 30, but I was part-time. But to get the bonuses and stuff, you had to sell loans and, you know, other things that we'd have to try to sell to people on the phone whenever they called in. You try to upsell them and stuff. And but the part-time, like, you had to meet a certain threshold of sales type of deal. Not exactly sales, but a certain amount of loans sold or whatever to actually get paid. Like, if you only sold one loan or originated one loan, then you didn't really originate it, but got the referral. You don't get paid for it. So you had to reach, but the part-time people, Jabo Silver, the part-time people, it was always cut in half for the part-time people. So it was so easy for me to make, I was making bank there. I loved it. And especially in comparison to freaking McDonald's. I'm making like $9 an hour. $9 an hour as a manager. It's absurd. More Trey McBride. Crazy. Oh, Chris. Yeah, 3 years. Wow. I worked there for about a year and a half, and it was bad. And then I got an internship at the competitive bank, and I was trying to like find a way to internship there and work there, but I was also still in college, and there wasn't enough hours in the day. And plus they weren't going to allow me to do that. So, I mean, it was a good thing because I was going to try it, and there wasn't going to be enough time. Those at a 249. But yeah, call center is horrendous. Oh my God, it's so bad. Dante Hall to 225. Everybody hates their lives there. Like, literally everybody hates their lives Pretty much the only time people call in is whenever they have a something bad's going on, so they're pissed off. Debit card won't work, you know. Jonathan Taylor to 199. Blue Wave. Oh, that's what I was going to say about Chris. Chris, oh man, I get so if I did work at a call center, so number to 125, RG3. Wow, when's the last time you saw RG3 autographed? Yeah, I always I do this thing where I'm like like if I have a bad experience with like customer service or something, now I do this thing, to my wife. I'll be like, I work customer service. They did XYZ wrong and whatever. But my biggest thing is getting cold transferred. Working it there, they always made us, if we ever transferred the call, it had to be a warm transfer. Unless the person didn't pick up, then you could transfer it over to their voicemail. But you had to warm transfer. It wasn't like you just dropped it on somebody, It was like, okay, they just told me this whole story. Let me call over to the other department, let them know, warm transfer them over so everybody knows what's going on. But that pretty much never happens anytime I call in on customer service. You just tell somebody your whole story just for them to say, oh, I need to transfer you over to what, and then click, and then you're over here, and then you're like, do I have to say this 5-minute story again? That is my worst nightmare. David Bell to 225, Purple Ice. But whenever I was working there, so I worked nights and weekends. So I always got paid that premium pay and stuff. Like it was nice for in college, $199. But a lot of the people that worked nights and weekends were like were college students. And Falcons again, Algier. But this one kid, dude, his name was Eugene. His name was Gene, and he was a party kid. He was in a frat. Yeah, he was a party kid. This was like his 7th year of college, undergrad. 175, Nick Boza, 4 out of 175. And he's a likable guy, but he was always late to work. Fournette for the Bucks to 125. He was always late for work. Always just super unpredictable. Pretty much did the bare minimum. I mean, it is what it is. But the one day, it was, like I said, like night shift people pretty much, it's nights and weekends for us college kids. So it was, some people worked Saturdays, some people had to work Sundays. Me and Gene were on the Sunday crew. And he was always late on Sunday because, out the night, it's Saturday night, you're in college, that whole deal. Right? So he was always late on Sundays. Always late. And this time he was super late. He comes in and he does not look very good. He looks rough. About an hour into the shift, I was on a call, I hear him get up. Don't really think a whole lot of it, but he was definitely kind of like rushed. Kind of like, not exactly sprinted by, but he rushed by. And then I hear some commotion going on, get off the call. The dude threw up right in the doorway to get into the call center. There's no other doors to get in. The call center, and it was a pretty big call center. I mean, we probably had a crew of like 40 people. Yeah, well, I don't know how big that really is, but it was decent size. But he threw up right in the middle of the doorway, like everywhere. No one could leave to go, like, everyone's stuck now because no one wants to get throw up on them. It was so bad. He was like all sick and disgusting. Then he had to clean it up because there was no, like, we didn't have any janitors or any maintenance people there on Sunday. So he was like sicker than a dog having to clean this up. Right on, Frank. And I just remember this. He was like throwing up like pretty consistently at work. What's up, Kamikaze? Yeah, all is well here, brother. Thanks for asking. I hope all is well with you. And he'd be throwing up like all the time. Like I knew it because he was in the cubicle right next to mine. Like, we all had cubicles set up and everything, and I knew it because I knew he was going to the bathroom, and like I knew all the signs, you know, and I knew it was him. And then one day in the bathroom, they put up a sign that was like, it said something about like not cleaning up after yourself, and like all this stuff about like, yeah, somebody keeps throwing up in the stall and not cleaning it up and blah blah blah, and like whoever it is we're gonna find. Like it was like pretty aggressive, and my first thought was like, I knew it was Gene. I knew it. And then that was going on, and I knew it was him. Then he threw up in the middle of the doorway, so then everybody knew it was him. Then everybody hated him. And then there was the just most disgusting thing. So we were in the basement of this really old building. It was on Main Street in Indiana, PA. It's a really old building. Super old, and we were down in the basement. There's no windows, okay? So you can't air it out. There's no windows, one way in, because we would lock ourselves in on Sundays because there's no one else, so we would be locked in. So you'd have to like, yeah. And he threw up right there, and it's all like old carpet and everything. There was a stain, like this, the size of probably a couple watermelons. I mean, it was massive stain right in the middle of the doorway that was there until I was gone. Yeah. Talk about a terrible place. I mean, I was getting paid all right. I actually didn't mind it too much. I think I didn't mind it too much. Coming from McDonald's, you can take a lot. But if I didn't have the experience at McDonald's, I'd be like, this is what, joining the workforce means. All right, Prizm football, number 8. There's my story.